Alright guys, Shotty T here with an Alliance War video. This is the 11th war of the season. Sorry about getting this out late. I was pretty busy this past weekend. Really haven't been getting a lot of sleep. I said that Abyss run, we finished with that, so that's one big burden off my back. But as you can see here, this opponent is just a complete mismatch. They got like a 54 million rating. We have 41 million. They're in Platinum 3. We're aspiring for Platinum 3. And in order to get Platinum 3, we had to win these last two wars. And just on paper, it's going to be tough. I mean, there's a lot of rank 3 defenders, rank 5. I don't think they had a single rank 4 or rank 1 6-star defender. Everything is rank 2, rank 5, or rank 3. So we're going to have our hands full this war. I believe that Abomination on the left side is probably only rank 4. But then again, he's unawakened. He has low prestige, so he might be rank 5 also. But Protect is the global once again. And I'm just highlighting the opponents that I plan on fighting. This is going to be a very heavy Quake war. So naturally, that's the reason why part of this video is going to be pretty long, and I appreciate the love there. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We're still trying to get triple-digit subscribers and ultimately get to 4 digits in order to the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So we have to, every channel started from humble beginnings, so we're just trying to build it and build it. So now this is going to be a very interesting opponent, but once again, we're just going to quake it. Like this opponent plays so well, and I only like it was so much of a variety of defenders in my path alone, and I also like to try to be able to take on as many bosses as I can. It really forced my hand to just bring Quake. And with this mole man there, you can't quake him. So that was the reason why I brought Omega to make that fight less stressful. And then this thing fight, normally I bring like Claire or Torch for that fight, but I couldn't afford to bring her. Maybe I could have brought her potentially and used her to fight through Mole Man. Who was my third attacker? Magic. Yeah, I guess in hindsight, I probably should have just brought Claire instead of Magic and then let somebody else get the Apocalypse boss, because that's really, now that this war is over, that probably would have made things better if I brought Claire, Quake, and Omega Steel, if I still wanted to use him for Mole Man. But yeah, so anyway, this is still going to be a very useful video. So we're going to, even though it's going to be a pretty long video, it's going to be very informational. So every fight is going to have its own commentary. And as long as this video is going to be, oddly, I'm not going to be playing any music videos. It's going to be something to commentate about every fight. Even the long Quake fights. Speaking of which, is this very first one. So I could have used Omega for this fight, but for some reason I was like, okay, it's Emma Frost. She's on this node. Shouldn't be that bad, but little did I know that 15% boost would actually be needed. But in reality, the reason why I'm putting that big boy boost on is because I was still in the Abyss while this war was active, actually. So obviously the 4 Horsemen and Magneto were not available for this war, but I really didn't need them for my path that I was facing. So as you can see there, that first Aftershock cycle took 8% health. And then they also got that little thing every time you evade, the opponent becomes unstoppable for about a second. So that's just in case I mess up quaking. So yeah, so that 30% boost was actually needed for this fight because I believe I probably could have timed out because when Emma is in her diamond form, she has increased physical resistance, and Quake aftershock charge is not considered energy damage; it's actually considered physical damage. So she's mitigating pretty a good chunk of it. On top of that, she already has the built-in protection for this particular node. So obviously, if I had an armor break attacker like Corvus or Medusa, this fight would be much easier, or just a regular fighter that can push her over a bar of power and get her out of diamond form and knock her down. I could have, like I said, I could have did that with Omega, but I just wanted to keep it simple by quaking. But as you can see, I mean, we're not even halfway through this fight, and we're already a minute, almost 2 minutes in. So I was actually a little worried, just a little worried about timing out, because when you're in assassin's range with Quake, that aftershock charge does not increase in damage. Only way it really increases is if you just have more stacks of aftershock when it expires. But with Emma being so aggressive and the fact that she can't be stunned because she's in diamond form, the most stacks I'm usually able to get is like 12 to 14. That's usually. So let's see how many we get here. So we got the 12. So we actually got the 14 that time. As you can see, the ticks per tick was like just over 1,000. So this is just a marathon fight. So imagine the very first fight of the war. Your fingers are already getting tired. So and this is gonna be one of many Quake fights that are gonna be marathons too. So we're just trucking right along. So that was 1387 per tick with those aftershock charges, and you can see she has 22 of those charges. I don't even know what they are. Maybe it's critical rating. So if I get hit, that's not good either. Critical damage. I mean, it's a bunch of cruelty charge. I'm gonna have to look that up in the mastery because I personally don't run that, so I have to make sure. And then she throws a little heavy there. So this is where it really pays to know the opponent combo enders, because you never know when you get caught up in a marathon fight like this. And then she hit me to my block because, like I said, my fingers just getting very fatigued at this point. First fight of the war. So that's 1229 per tick. One more aftershock charge, and we'll be done with this mess. I mean, this was just, I mean, no concussion. Like, I have no extra buffs to apply to her to add more damage, like the concussion or anything. So we're painfully done with that fight. Next fight's not going to be as long. As a reference, we're going to use Omega Red for Mole Man. So the thing about Mole Man, what makes him a tough defender, pretty much he shrugs off every debuff against a non-mutant. And after he gets to 20, he gets in after he gets to 5, technically he'll be in frenzy mode, where if you hit into his block, he'll basically go unstoppable, and then unleash usually some critical. They call him the skill Corvus for a reason. So you don't want to get hit. So I don't want to hit into his block. We're just trying to just work our way through. So like I said, this fight is not very difficult, but if you didn't have a mutant, it'll be tough. And even if you did have a mutant, he still has a percent chance to shrug off any debuffs. But with Omega Red, when he has 10 of those spore charges on the opponent, they don't shrug off buffs. So he's a perfect matchup for Mole Man. Really, him and Storm Pyramid X are probably the best options. And also, what's his name? Apocalypse. They have a mechanic where if you have that tenacity is unaffected. So next fight, we got another Quake fight. Now this one obviously won't be as long. We got the class advantage. You can see the first aftershock took 30% health. So I'm like, thank the Lord. I can have a quick Quake fight finally. So really, 3 or 4 aftershock charges should do it here. So this, And the thing about Quake with her concussion, it bypasses his healing at the end, so there's no regeneration. It's shut off. So he's just gonna continue to degenerate health. So this last aftershock is gonna kill him. And there we go. So less than a minute there compared to the last fight, having less than a minute left on the clock almost. So a tale of two fights. All right. So next fight we have a Juggernaut. Again, class advantage. I figured why not use Quake, and we still got a 20% attack boost. And I believe we just finished the Abyss at this point because I did use a 20% attack boost as well as the Greater Champion boost for the collector fight. So yeah, so I was pretty excited. You guys saw that rewards opening video. Like I said, the only thing I'm pretty much looking forward to now is 7.2, as well as the monthly quests and the side quests. So yeah, and also these putting out more videos, more importantly. So we also, with this season being over now, as I'm recording this video, we did have a couple of changes in our battle group in the alliance. So it's actually for the better overall. I mean, we did lose a member, but he was a pretty good fighter. But we did make a couple of shifts in alliance quests where I can actually go to sleep in a timely fashion and actually be able to put out more videos as well. Because the thing about putting out videos, ideally, you would like to be able to put them out when you don't have other interruptions or responsibilities that you have, such as moving and alliance quests. So it's one less thing to worry about. My path is complete. So we're just gonna go straight in to these war videos. So the other video is gonna be coming right after this one. I'll probably post it officially on YouTube later than this one, so that way you'll have a chance to digest this war video, because like I said, it's 46 minutes. You can always binge watch my war videos, kind of like people do on Netflix if you want. And watch all the different episodes. I try to make it somewhat like a TV ordeal, like have like a catchy title for every war. I think I already know what the title of this war is going to be. Yeah, it's going to be some unorthodox Quake fights and some lengthy ones. And here's another one. So we applied that 30% boost because of this fight here. As you guys recall, I did try Omega Red, and usually Omega Red, he's not a bad matchup for this fight. But ever since I've been traumatized, if you guys see my previous war videos, I've been traumatized by Korg on this node, where it's like I'm either going to be using Quake or Storm Pyramid X against Korg. Maybe I'll warm myself up to at least use Claire and maybe Sorcerer Supreme, and normally they're good against him. But when that guy was literally shrugging off every parry and basically just got me in a corner where I couldn't fight myself out of, I said, if I'm going to be in a corner, I might as well Quake. And after the Emma Frost fight, this fight seems like a cakewalk, even though I got the class disadvantage and he has good physical resistance too. So obviously this fight, it's not going to be the quickest, but like I said, I got that 30% boost. But theoretically it's safer from experience than it is with Omega Red and risking him shrugging off the thing. Because the thing about it, I can't stay close enough to him long enough for me to get those 10 spores to guarantee him not shrugging off, because he'll either throw it heavy or I'm forced to do a combo that he evades from. But maybe I can work around it. Maybe this off season, if the opportunity comes around, I could revisit using Omega Red. But this off season, I did beat him with somebody else on this node. I may just randomly post that video. I'm not gonna post that whole war, but I did rank up a new champ that I'm falling in love with already for war that's been seen in upper tier Alliance War videos. So I'm looking forward to having a more versatile attack this upcoming season. Feel pretty good about where we are, where we left off, and where we can end up. So there we go. There's another fight. So here we got a Cold Obsidian. This is probably the most questionable placement that this 54 million Alliance placed. Probably by far the easiest fight the whole war. I guess you can say make an argument for that Mephisto fight, but I can see that Mephisto fight being a little tricky if you don't have Quake. So this one right here, I mean, his special attack, pretty much his animations take up the whole Footloose timer. So with magic, it's just a simple power control fight. And I purposely got myself armor broken so I can heal myself. I want to finish this fight with 100% health. That's usually how I am when I'm having one of these type of fights. Like, you don't deserve to get a piece of my health. And I actually triggered protection there with that SP2. But we got assassins, so that was ignored. So yeah, so that was pretty easy. But again, that could have been handled with Claire. Like I said, going back to who I could have used on other fights. So again, this is gonna be the ultimate marathon fight. One thing I forgot to check, because Rhino, the higher his SIG, the more physical resistance he has. So if you thought that Emma Frost fight was a marathon, this is gonna be the marathon. And I'm actually gonna end up resorting to non-standard Quake fighting. Because I realized after that first aftershock, I said, oh, heck no. I'm going to time out if I try to Quake and shake this guy all fight. So I'm going to have to do something different. Yeah, 2 aftershocks and we took away 5% health and we lost 30 seconds. Yeah, let's see. Do the math. 30 seconds, 5 minutes. That's what? 10? Yeah, that's 10. So every 30 seconds we take 5% health. Yeah, that's half his health gone. So if I don't think of something, I'm gonna time out. So I'm gonna have to bite the bullet. I'm just gonna have to intercept him and just take the hit so that way I can get that passive fury and just hit him normal, non-quaking, because this quaking ain't gonna work. So I think at this point, I'm saying to myself, yeah, this next time he gets stunned, I'm just gonna start comboing him. Yeah, let's just start comboing him right now. See if we can get an intercept in here. I did not mean to do that. And actually, now that I'm looking, and it's always good to record your videos because you can always learn some stuff after the fact. A safer way I could have intercepted him is by throwing a special attack as he was launching at me. That way I don't take any hits. I probably could have did the SP2 or the SP1, but so I don't know why I went back to quaking knowing that that's not gonna work. I was hoping that little bit of comboing would get him down quicker, and I tried to do some math. So we're 2 minutes in, we took away 24% health, and I said, nah, that's not quite gonna do it. So we're gonna have to just combo him. We're gonna have to trigger. We're gonna have to intercept him. So I'm trying to intercept. There we go. So I purposely get hit there. So now we aftershock and gonna see if we could get that with the Fury or try to not have protection get re-triggered. But it ended up being a complete waste of the Fury. So now it's getting desperate here, man. We're more than halfway through the fight and he's not halfway down. So I'm obviously you're not used to fighting normal with Quake, but you used to just quaking and shaking, but it's just not working. So we go ahead and hit him there. So we're gonna have to intercept him. I was trying to do a wall intercept and see if that counted as one, but it didn't. So So I'm just gonna have to just fight normal, see if I can do a backdraft, or see if I can just regular combo him and see if that'll do it. If that'll get him down quicker than just quaking. But it's still not working. So we'll have to take a big horn to the face once again. But this time we're gonna throw the SB3. And this is how I'm gonna get myself a little bit more out of the hole. Okay, so now he's at 38% health. He's stunned, and I can get some more hits in there. And we gotta be careful, obviously, not to get him to SB3. But we still not out the woods yet, man. We still got a minute and 10 left, and I'm thinking maybe I can quake this last minute, but it just ain't gonna happen. Doing the math, that's what 20%. That's 10% health. So I gotta find a way to get 30% health in a minute. And I don't have many other intercepts that I can take to the face without dying. So things are very dire. Luckily, he did not go into a full combo there, so there is some hope. And I see my opening right here and there. If I can land this SB2, and luckily he did not become unblockable right there. It's getting dicey. Maybe I can, okay, now I try to go back to quaking, but I just realized the math lesson ain't gonna work. 5 minutes, 5 health per 30 seconds. And so I ditched that once again. But we throw the SP2, hoping that'll bypass the protect. And we finish with 6 seconds left. Yeah. Like I said, normally this type of fight, I would just play music through, but it was such a dramatic fight. I mean, I had to commentate that all the way through. So afterwards, we heal ourselves back up, because one thing you don't want to do is fight against the opponent with less than 20% health, because sometimes they may have assassins, and that means that your ability accuracy is reduced. That means probably half the time my quake and shake won't work. So that's never something you want to do, is go into a war fight with less than 20% health. That's a dangerous proposition, because your abilities may not trigger all the time, especially if you rely on an opponent, a champion that relies on abilities. It's almost basically like fighting a domino on steroids. You're gonna have some abilities not trigger. You won't have critical failure, but you're just gonna get hit. Or if you're trying to evade, you may not evade. Or if you're trying to steal power to drain power to get from an SB3, you may not drain power, and then you'll get an SB3 thrown at you. So I went ahead and scouted this. This only reason why I looked at this guy, I was just trying to see whether or not he had physical resistance. That Rhino, when I saw his physical resistance, I said, yeah, he must have had a high sig. So I'm trying to make sure that wasn't the case for this Immortal Abomination, because I'm still a little, I mean, that Emma Frost fight, the Cord fight, and then that Rhino fight, talk about sweating fights out with, I mean, the Cord fight ended up being the easiest fight, and that's not a joke either, especially with that unstoppable, unblockable. So this fight is going to be much easier, thankfully. So the physical resistance is not the same as Rhino, thank God. But we're still going to apply our boosts. Like I said, we kind of tapped out on some of those in the Abyss, but we were able to maintain our small boosts, because we basically just used the big boy 30% boost in the Abyss. All right. So it's going to be another Quake fight. I never Quaked Immortal Abomination before, so instead of playing music, just be able to help you guys identify his combo enders. So as you can clearly see, he has like this slow moving dash. So I believe you can dash back light counter against him in the right scenario, but this is not the node to do that on. And he's one ugly looking fella. Got finger eyes. So we Quake and parry there. Like I said, I haven't got the combo ender yet. So it looks like that shoulder, that second shoulder tackle is his second medium. Like the shoulder that turns towards the background. And then that little fist, that little punch that's facing towards the screen is his fourth light attack. So those are the combo enders that I'm looking for. So that's the fourth light attack there. That's the fourth light attack again. So there's the shoulder tackle, the second medium, that's the fourth light. That was a 3-hit combo, ending with the second medium there. And the reason why I'm using Quake this fight, like I said, is I could have used Omega Red. He's poison immune, but I would have dealt with him having crazy power gain with his own poisons every 10 hits I inflict on him, or every 10 hits between me hitting him and him hitting me, he gets a poison debuff placed on him, and it counts towards the redoubled determination, which means he'll be gaining power at a faster rate and have a higher attack rating. So that's not fun. Well, for his own personal profile, he'll have a higher attack rating the more poisons he puts on himself. And even though Omega's poison immune, is just something I didn't want to have to deal with him gaining extra power. It was a possible fight with Omega, but it's safer with Quake. And plus, and I forgot to tell you guys, this guy did not have willpower. If he had willpower, this would be an easy Warlock fight. So they not only they place well, but they play smart. They don't want you to cheese any fights, but of course, can't cure Quake cheese. So you see, they only got 1 death so far. 1 death to our 15 and 15. And we know we doing pretty good. So I wake up the next morning. So they got 2 deaths in RBG, and we've died 7 times. So overall, they died 8 times to our 30, and they got less opponents left to face. So it's just not looking like we're gonna win this. So I mean, it's just kind of I hate that we got placed with this type of opponent the next to the last war of the season. We're trying to finish Platinum 3. This is an alliance that should be in like Platinum 2. I'm not sure how they ended up being matched up against us, to be honest. But again, I got so traumatized by that Rhino fight. I'm looking to see if he had physical resistance, which he doesn't. So that's okay. I can quit this fight. And I believe I've quit this guy many times before, but that Rhino fight just kind of shook me, thinking, okay. And then that Emma Frost fight, said, oh man, I got to make sure I don't get time out fighting with Quake. Okay, so 10% of the first, and plus we're not boosting because the war is almost lost. So 10% off the first aftershock. It's almost like Emma Frost. So 10%, 30% health the first 40 seconds. So we're pacing just fine. The Emma Frost fight was actually longer than this one. So I'll try to put my phone on Do Not Disturb more often. That way, because sometimes I have to edit out these videos after the fact, especially if I make a transaction on my card and it'll show you made this purchase, you have this much remaining on your balance. I got 2 accounts, but the point is, I shouldn't have any account information on these videos. So I have to make a note to myself to have video on Do Not Disturb, so no random pop-up. You never know what'll pop up on my recording. I might get a hot date texting me, so you best believe that'll get that will not make the video if that ever happens. And that does happen, but it doesn't happen in this video, but it does happen. Anyway, so we got 15% health left. We're 2 minutes in, less than 2 minutes in. So this fight, having a class advantage obviously helps. And this node I normally handle with Claire, and Omega could have handled this fight. Actually, I probably could have gave the fight to him. In all honesty, because you only use him for one fight. But the only reason why I didn't, because I plan on using him for this fight, and this is where having Claire, I should have had Claire. I've seen some takedowns with Omega Red, but I haven't done it, and this is the first opportunity, first time, and I really didn't quite handle it the best way I should have, as far as managing his spores and keeping that DGN active and manage his rock stacks. It's a lot to think about. And plus, when Omega Red has those 10 spores on the opponent, if you hit into the block with the medium attack, there's an outside chance that you can actually hit them. So if I'm trying to do that against Thing when he's not quite at 15 stacks and I'm trying to hit into his block, then I can mess around and hit him while he's blocking and trigger unstoppable. So, but so far early on, and that was a good way to heavy counter. But the problem is I'm heavy counter with no spores on him, so he's actually just healing from that. So I gotta make sure I'm throwing that when he has some spores on him. So he has 10 spores, and that time I didn't give myself the spacing to do that. So it was bad execution. I mean, the fight is doable with anybody, but most of Omega's damage output relies on those spores. And then I parried by mistake, so that's never good. Even with me having a 4 out of 5 in Limber Mastery, that's just not good. I could have heavy countered there. Now he's unstoppable. So now I gotta try to push him over a bar of power. And we're not even on the right side of the board. So this is just a terrible fight. But I got him over. But we're just not doing what we should be doing with Omega, though, in this fight. We're just not. But we're just going to push him over to his side of the board here. And because we can't parry him, obviously, so we got to find a way to heavy counter. And then we just straight get hit by his SP1 there. Didn't even try to dex out of it or dex back too soon. And once again, we're mismanaging the rock stats and our spores. Just not getting the spacing, not lining up. I mean, this is just I could have used Quake for this fight if I was gonna take advantage of his damage output. But I wasn't with Quake, though. I can't throw any specials, because if I stun him by mistake after an aftershock expiration, then I'm just gonna get stunned. So that's why Quake is no good on this node. I do have White Magneto pre-fight. The only thing it really does is give me extra 15% attack. Once again, I throw the heavy with no spores active. So he just heals from it. So this is another fight that's in danger of timing out. So now we're almost starting to get desperate here and take more risky moves. And that's what's going to end up costing us this fight. And so once again, he's going to heal off of that degeneration, but at least it'll lock in the spores where if I'm away from them, they don't go down. So I sacrificed that just to see if I could place it. And once again, I didn't give myself the proper spacing to counter his SP1 with the heavy. So that's one thing I could definitely practice to get better at. Because if I can master that, then I can handle this fight. Because as you can see, I mean, I've taken down 70% of his health by not doing anything special, just managing the rock stats and obviously, again, I got to manage my spacing. Just got hit in the face with the last hit of his SP1 there. And so just kind of hesitant on trying to counter his SP1 because I'm not sure if I have the right spacing each time. So that is an area of opportunity I can get better in the game at. That's for sure. Is spacing from heavies and special attacks from different opponents. Because it's in some situation where you can't stun, it's necessary. And then he decided to intercept me instead of me hitting into his block, and then it became unstoppable. And that was the end of that fight. So we just go ahead and finish it with Quake. Like I said, we're not going to do anything special. We're just going to manage his stacks and just hit him. It's almost like a fisticuff fight. No buffs placed by anyone. Just regular, old-fashioned hand fighting. So again, another non-standard Quake fight. And since I got assassins, all my hits are triggering the rock stats, so I have to kind of keep my eye on that. But yeah, so substandard Quake fight, finish him off. She probably could have finished him off in one shot, but otherwise defeat the purpose of bringing Omega Red. All right, so this next fight, I wanted to experiment. Like I said, the war is pretty much lost, so I got White Magneto pre-fight active, so I can at least parry indefinitely and not have to worry about Limber, as long as I got a hero or a metal attacker, and all three of my characters fit one of those two categories. So my idea here is to see if that also applied for the stun after the aftershock. And it looks like the stun duration is decreasing each time. And of course I have to make sure that I'm hitting her periodically to not worry about brute force. But yeah, the stun timer, so the Limber, unfortunately it does make my aftershock charges go down slightly each time, as far not the aftershock charge, but the stun duration from aftershock. So that was the point where I realized, okay, I just need to ditch the Quake and Shake, and I'll just do regular parry where I got that passive stun at least. And pretty much if I tried to do a regular combo against Spider-Gwen, she's gonna pretty much evade every attack. So I probably could have did that and cheesed some healing off of Quake, because it would have gave me a fatigue debuff. But I don't really have Quake on slate for any other fight, so I don't really care about willpower healing. But yeah, we're almost 38 minutes into this video, and we got this fight and one more fight. All right, so yeah, so that stun literally had no duration, so she immediately evaded. But I got that fatigue on me now. I can at least willpower heal there. I was able to get a hit there, fortunately. So I need her to throw a special though. There we go. Yeah, so we just resorted to parry short combos at the end of the day. All right, there we go. So yeah, that's the war. So like I said, at this point, again, the war is lost. Like I did check one more time before I went in, just to make sure it was well lost. So I did have a mystic power boost about to expire literally in like an hour. So as I said, okay, might as well use this power boost, since use it or lose it. You don't really get much out of it gold wise if you sell it. So I'll go ahead and use that one, so that way I can claim the other one in overflow. And we'll use a health boost just because we get plenty of those. I just want to see if I can one-shot this guy without boosting, without like attack boosting. but at the same time, I could at least rotate the more SB2s. So that's what we're checking here. And obviously we do not want to use a power start boost because we don't want to. Those boosts are rare. Kabam's pretty stingy about giving those out. So we'll eat a couple of SP1s to build ourselves to an SP2. Not comfortable enough to try to dex this SP1 like I did in that Warlock video a few wars back, where I dexed the first one, blocked the second one, and dexed the third one. So here we're doing okay. The energy, the damage is not really pacing very well. Now I had an idea, and I probably should have did it right here now that I'm looking at this video after the fact. I had an idea. So I trigger protection, so that's obviously no good, but we intercept to get rid of it. So I had an idea, and this is actually something I ended up doing in the event quest against the Odin. So with all these buffs the opponent has on them, if I can get myself to SP3, what it does, it increases her attack rating quite a bit for each debuff that gets nullified. So that makes the SP3 hit pretty hard. And that way he starts back over with 0 debuffs. And if I can do that while he's still power locked, and keep in mind I also have Missing Dispersion. So if I throw the SP2 with him having all these debuffs on him, not only will it hit hard, but with this power boost combined with Missing Dispersion, it'll probably push me to another SP2, or probably even to an SP3. But I just wasn't thinking at the time. I think I ended up trying to do that towards the end, because he has 12 total debuffs on him. So even if I didn't have a power boost, I probably would still get over 2 bars of power after throwing it SP2. So I can already be ready to throw my SP3 while he's still power locked, so that way he doesn't gain power from the SP3. And then right there he parry 5 combo, so that wastes time and my health. And unfortunately I wasn't in limbo, so none of that's getting recovered back. But we still good. We're in Assassin's range. We're in Courage range, but the opponent is in Assassin's range against me, so I may have abilities that may not even trigger, like the power steal or the power lock. But we carry on. We still got maybe a couple of blocks left that we could take if we have to. Obviously we cannot take another special, so we have to keep him under power control. And we're trying, but he has 19 debuffs on him. Now he has 20. Like I said, if I throw this SP3 at this point, it actually may kill him. With that attack rating, it actually may kill him at this point. And I'm hoping that I can get a chance to experiment this in this off season, because I did test her out in one of those paths with the resistor path, and that SP3 hit pretty hard, and it nullified all the debuffs, and it pushed me back to 3 bars of power because of all the debuffs I had consumed with that Missing Dispersion mastery. So maybe if I change the mastery for Missing Dispersion, I could probably not gain as much crazy power, because ideally I want to be able to throw another SP2 after they've accumulated this many buffs on them at this point. I mean, that's 24 buffs. I mean, nullifying all that, you know how much power I gain if I'm at Mystic Dispersion 4 out of 5, which I am for this fight. But if I'm 2 out of 5, then, like I said, I have to look at the rate conversion. But as you can see, I'm about to time out. Now this is where I really should have done it. And I think this is where I finally decided, let me see if I can get to SP3, but he wasn't cooperating with me to get there, so I ended up timing out. So, but anyway, we lost the war. We got one more this season. Please like, share, subscribe, and I hope you enjoy your day.